Too high, yo. Too high.
We want to welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. To the Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go. I learned how to win in college.
Process, right?
Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted, who really loves the game and who really don't.
Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience.
Like, oh, man, yeah, let's get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to work.
My bad, bro.
What? What'd you say?
Because, like, I could see you in the frame, so you wasn't there. Then all of a sudden, you was like,
Hey, give me a water, bro. You know what I'm saying?
hey, my bad. We could redo that. Nah, we redo it.
Nah.
We want to welcome everybody to.
You could have.
Huh?
You could have went, man. It happens.
Nah, yeah. We could.
You can come on the pod laughing, bro. You don't have to. Like,
Nah, I know. It was just mad funny.
You could have kept everything that just happened. You could have kept all that.
I mean, we still can. That's the power of editing.
Word. Let's get it then.
But you wasn't in the frame, and then all of a sudden, as soon as it cut off, here you are. I'm here. Like I wasn't. I've been here the whole time.
I'm here. That's the magic of TV.
The magic of TV. But what's up, everybody, man? Welcome to another episode of the Hoop Chat. We are your hosts. I'm Coach Nelly, owner of Wayne's World of Basketball, and I'm the head coach at Winslow Township High School.
And I'm Mars, and I'm the owner of Mars Basketball, in which I train players, small groups, as well as teams. So we in here giving you some information to empower, educate, and hopefully, you get some entertainment at the same time.
Right, absolutely. So what's up, man?
Who we giving shout outs to, man? Who we giving shout outs to?
My first shout out gotta go to my man Jay. This is his brand right here. Hold on, let me get that in the camera a little bit better. Let me slide over like this. There we go. He's been doing some things for me, just for promo purposes, just for me to have some stuff for my brand. This is his brand, GENUS, and it stands for Gathering Everything Needed Upon Success.
Oh, wow.
And you can hit him on IG. I'm gonna hit y'all with his tag, and he's definitely been keeping me fresh in some gear. So you can hit him up. You can follow him on IG. Yeah, my man Jay. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you.
Word.
A second shout out definitely got to go to I talked about my girl Grace Spears last week. Still been putting this work in, but she got invited to try out for the Philadelphia Bells. That's a big time AAU program.
Word.
And so it's a huge shout out to her. Definitely a hardworking girl. She just hit me up yesterday because I hooked her up to play in the fall league. Her high school team wasn't going to participate, so I found a team for her. She's actually playing with our Winslow girls because they needed players anyway, so it worked out. And she's like, hit me the other day, yo, coach, I'm watching film on that game. Like, okay, that's what's up. She was like, I have some questions. I'll send you some clips. So big shout out to her, man. And lastly, I definitely got to give out a shout out to my little bro, Junior Santel. Just want to hit him with a happy birthday. He turned 25 this past week.
Word.
And he's also out in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Playing for Barcelona, then that's a big step for him to be in a big time market like Barcelona. So big shout out to him, man. Just continue to work hard and grind, man, and keep striving for greatness, little bro.
It's my guy, man, Mikel Petrus. It's like, nah.
Nah, we call him Siakam.
yeah, Pascal. Yep. Nah, man. Yeah. to add on to that, man, happy belated birthday to my bro, man. I'm proud of you and everything that you accomplished. And I know that you're driven and motivated by something bigger than just playing basketball. So that's great, man. It's great to see. You deserve everything that you're getting right now. For me, man, I just want to, shout out all the bad coaches out there. So perhaps you may learn something by watching God. You feel me? A lot of coaches, man, they just sitting around right now. Public school coaches, even some Catholic school coaches, is just throwing their hands up with the whole COVID stuff. So I want to shout out all the players that are part of programs that got lazy ass coaches. I know that you're working hard, you know what I'm saying? And some things you can't control, but you can continue to keep getting better in preparation for your season. So don't let the negligence or the laziness of your coach, and his ineptitude or incompetence to gather y'all guys together as a team and figure out something. Don't let that stop you from continuing to work on your game and pursuing your dream. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to shout out to all of them dudes.
Right.
Man, who else can I think of off the top, man? I ain't got nobody, man. We just gonna go. I said what I
We're just gonna go. So let's jump into it, man.
Say less.
So the NBA Finals. Los Angeles Lakers are your NBA champions. What you think, man? How you feel about that?
I'm not happy, in the sense that it's not like championships of the past. Me being an avid Laker fan for as long as I have, it's cool, of course, because everybody, like we said in previous episodes, everybody went to the bubble for that goal to get the Larry O'Brien, but I would have just liked to see my team face a bit more adversity. And I know some people may say, damn, well, what more adversity is it than the bubble and having to be confined to a space? And I'm talking about competition on the court. You know what I mean? And yeah, you play who's in front of you. And I'm happy that the Lakers won the championship in the untimely demise of Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? I would have wished that he could have been able to see that, but we all know that he saw that and was with them in spirit. So for me, that's cool. You know what I mean? What you think about it, though?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm happy. Like you said, the circumstances. To be in a bubble couldn't have been easy. So I just gotta give a shout out to them, man. They play hard. They figured every opponent out that they played against. I do agree. I wish it was. I really wanted to see that Clipper-Laker matchup. I really wanted to see that. For me, that was the NBA championship for me because I felt like whoever was coming out to East, like it wasn't really going to be a competition like that. Just my opinion, right? So I really wanted to see the Battle of LA and the Western Conference Finals. It didn't happen. It is what it is. You play who's in front of you. They handle business. But they did it for Kobe, man. I felt like this season was always going to be special, no matter what. Even if the season was regular and they played the 82 games and had the normal format of playoffs, I just felt they were driven by something that was just so much greater than any other team had. And I understand that Kobe impacted people around the league. Come on, man. Kobe had a lot of impact on people around the league, but nothing is greater than the organization that he played for. Right. So I felt like they were driven. You could say the Mamba spirit was always with them. So, man, I'm happy, man. As a Laker fan, it's even crazy, even with the whole LeBron, like to win the 17th championship for the Lakers in your 17th year, that whole number thing, like,
right.
It's pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. So shout out to them, man.
Word. Well, what do you think about coaches and players and the idea of where they're supposed to put their most focus on winning, losing? Can you focus too much on winning and losing? What's your thoughts about that? Yo, you there? You muted it.
You can hear me?
Now I can. I'm like, yo, you muted yourself.
Oh man. My bad. This is my cat right here. Man, get out of here. All right. Animals, I tell you, man, they got a timing of their own. They do what they want. All right, so focusing too much on winning or losing, I think it needs to be an even balance, in my opinion. I mean, especially as being a coach, there's got to be a balance of what you focus on. It can't just be on winning or losing. I feel like winning and losing go hand in hand. I mean, I don't think anybody focuses on losing, right? Nobody says, "Oh, I'm gonna go out here and we're gonna lose." But the focus on winning can be great, right? And I like to say, yeah, obviously the main goal is to win. Nobody competes. Nobody plays any type of sport, any type of game. I don't care what it is, from a board game like Monopoly all the way to the NBA Finals. Nobody plays to lose, right? So there's always an emphasis on win. But I think you got to have focal points, right? Like you should be focusing on like preparation, right? How are we preparing to win, right? You could focus on effort, attitude, right? These are things that are your foundation. So if you want to focus on winning, then you need to focus on these points. What else? Your mindset, your mentality. You know, do you have a laid back, passive mentality, or do you have an aggressive mentality, mindset, right? And like, is it a lifestyle? Do you live this? Do you really put all effort, all everything into what you're doing? And if those things, if you focus on those things, when you get to the end, it's going to equate to winning 9 out of 10 times, right? When you focus on the foundation, the winning will take care of itself, right? You know, you've coached players, you've trained players, right? So you've always told them, you know, don't focus on the winning aspect, but focus on playing hard for the whole game. Focus on out rebounding a team. Focus on, and when you put the emphasis on those, winning takes care of itself. You hear a lot of coaches say that. Like, if you focus on the little things, guess what? Winning will take care of itself.
Right.
You know? So that's how I feel, and that's my stance on that, bro.
I kind of looked at the question and kind of thought about it in tiers, because I feel like, you know, at the beginner levels, you know, of playing, and I'm saying the beginner levels being third, fourth, and fifth grade.
Right.
I think the focus is to teach kids about winning, but not focusing on winning. I think it's about teaching them and focusing on the components that add up to winning, right? And the acknowledgement of the feeling of losing and learning what is the lesson in the loss, right? And emphasizing that, right? Like telling kids like, yo, losing sucks. You should not want to lose, right? You should not be okay with losing. But I'm not asking you to go home and commit suicide either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a lesson that's being learned. So what is the lesson? Yo, listen, we weren't focused in practice, right? And by there being a lack of focus in practice, you're goofing off with your friends, or you're not listening or asking questions. And then in the game, we get beat by those same things, like, you know, rebounding, not boxing people out, or you know, not knowing where to go on a play. You know, those types of things like that at the elementary levels. Now, as you bump up, yes, there should be placed a premium should be placed on winning. It should, because at the end of the day, we're not playing just to play. We're playing to win. So again, you're teaching kids what wins and what loses as they continue to grow. So at the intermediate levels, it's about the separation, right? Because then you start getting cut from teams, and you start to feel what it's like to fail or not be good enough, right?
Right.
There are losses in that as well, like lessons to be learned. Why are you not on this team? It's not because the coach has favorites. It's because there isn't a distinguishing factor amongst you and somebody who's already on the team who can do a little bit more, right?
Right.
So that adds to that coach's ability to have a product that's going to help him win. You're not in that mold, right? So what is the things that you need to do? Right. And then as a coach at those intermediate levels, it's about teaching the winning ways, coming into practice disciplined with an actual practice plan, right? With an understanding of a focus of introducing them to why it's important to be free throw line extended, why it's important to catch the ball at this particular area, screening your man, taking the pride in screening for your teammate, being unselfish, teaching the core things of winning, right? Being selfless and emphasizing that. And like you said, I feel especially at the intermediate levels, because there's such a gap, because kids are growing at different rates and have different experiences, that there's a real parity amongst kids, that if you get a good nucleus together and you teach them those winning ways, they're going to blow teams out. It's not even going to be close, right? Because those other coaches aren't focusing on that. Those other coaches are focusing on, come on, why aren't we winning? Come on, you got to do this. And it's like, if you're not focused on that and you're focused on, listen, share the basketball, set a screen for your teammate. It's a partnership. When they pass you the ball, you should come and meet the ball. You know what I mean? Small things like that, help and recover, understanding how to help off your man, but also have the multiple effort to help and get back to your man, and understanding that helps us win. Right. And then at the intermediate levels, because they're watching basketball, you have to take the time to emphasize how important the little things are, because what they are polarized by or captivated by are the scores, right? I need to be James Harden. I need to be this. It's like, yo, that's not winning. That's not going to help us win right now. What's going to help us win is, you're not James Harden, but you play really good defense. That helps us win. That galvanizes our team, right? And getting kids, especially at the intermediate levels, to understand their value, even though their value isn't putting the ball in the basket, right? And then obviously, as you get to that high school level, it's definitely about your commitment to winning. What is your commitment to winning at this point? Because if you've gone through those stages, you've gotten the requisite foundational winning ways, right? Now it's about, what is your commitment? Are you a kid who's going to show up every day with the level of commitment to winning, right? Are you going to be a vocal leader? Are you going to lead by example? Where does it become you starting at that high school level to take the team winning and success into your own hands as ownership of that particular team and saying, yo, these are the things that I'm committed to, so that your coach, when people think that, your coach is favoriting you or whatever, it's not about coach favoriting you. It's coach understanding that you guys have a similar ideology about winning, right? So I can bear with certain decisions that you make because I know that you have a winning mindset versus someone who's selfishly out for theirs. Yeah, you give me 20, but we lose by 10 and you're okay with that. That's a problem for me. When you're looking at rankings and you're worried about where you are ranked, but us as a team is trying to, accomplish a goal as a group, then that's an issue, because that's not a winning way. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody they shouldn't have individual goals. However, your individual goals can't blind you from actually obtaining the goal of winning collectively, right? So I think at those levels, and for a coach, I think it's very important to emphasize those things, making sure that you are constantly, throughout each practice, each game, emphasizing those ways of winning and the commitment level that it takes to get there, right? You've experienced that. You got a nice group of kids, right? They're committed. You show that you're committed to them by figuring out ways to work with them through COVID, right? That shows your kids that you're committed to winning. The amount of kids that show up shows you their commitment to winning. Now we're on the same page. Now we can start to talk about certain things about how we're going to build out this winning campaign in our season, right? But if you're not stressing that commitment to winning as a coach, you can't expect players to understand it. because we're saturated with BS in the basketball world, where it's all about where am I ranked, what am I scoring, who's offered me, am I D1? I need to be D1. If I'm not playing for this team, then I'm not going to get seen. And coach is trying to stop my shine, and all of those types of things, are festering within a player's mind that the coach has to always be steadfast and stoic in maintaining that focus of I want you guys to be committed to winning, the winning ways of what winning really is, communication, being vocal, making sure that you're looking your teammates in the eye when you're having a conversation. If there's a dispute, right? We're not name calling, we're not this, we're not that. We are going at one another. We're going to say what we feel, but we're not going to say it in a derogatory way at which that person can now be offended. And that's a losing way, right? When you come off the court, you running off the court, you're giving your teammate a high five. I don't care if you just turned the ball over and you picked up, 2 offensive fouls. When coach subs you out, you don't walk off, you don't drop your head, you don't do that. Those are the body languages of losers, where a winner is running off the court, clapping his teammate's hand, taking whatever it is from the coach, instruction from the coach, and going to sit down on the bench and reflect and then, gather themselves to prepare themselves to go back in and contribute to the team however they can. So, once you get to the professional and collegiate level, it's all about winning. Once you get to the collegiate level, and there is no other option but winning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because nobody cares about stats at the collegiate level if you ain't winning. It's all about winning. When you get to college, players don't understand. This is how a coach puts food on the table. If he don't win, he get fired. If it's always going to be the team over you. So you can be the prolific scorer on the team, and if the team is losing and you got a bad attitude, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? So I just
see that a lot.
Yeah. So when you initially we posed this question, I just kind of thought about it in tears of.
No, that was dope. That was dope and informative. And it's like it goes back to another topic that we had previously. It's about how you build your culture, right? As a coach, it's how you build your culture. So if you're building your foundation and your culture, and you include winning in that, but like you said, if you're teaching winning habits, then it's all culture related. I like to tell kids, or I had to tell a kid, right? We won the other day. We smacked the team, and we probably our best team game played so far in the fall league, right? And my leading scorer didn't have his best game, right? He didn't score like that, like he wanted, but it was just because we were playing so well. Probably had 6 kids in double figures. That's hard to beat. So
sharing the basketball.
Yes, and that's one thing I can say about my team right now. Like, they genuinely like each other. Like I told you the other day, like they get mad at each other if they don't take the open right shot. Like, why didn't you shoot that? Why didn't you do that? Because don't let me. And it's kind of funny because they were like, well, don't let me be in that spot because I'm shooting that. Like, but that's how they are, right? They get it. They understand that part. But I had to tell him, said, it's not about you, right? And I need you to understand this. It's not about you. It's about we. Right? It's about we. It can't be about you. But here's the thing. When you care about the we, then the we will care about you. And they'll make sure that you are a part because the we knows what we need to win. Right. We know we need you. Right? And when you can start to understand that as a player, then it's just like, that's when winning starts to happen. Right? That's when it ain't. And it's the law of averages. Like, you could be a 20-point scorer. One of those games, you're not going to have 20 points. Like, it is what it is. You're going to have 8. You're going to have 6. But then you're going to have a game where you break out because you're on fire, right? So it is what it is.
For sure. I agree wholeheartedly with that, man. I mean, getting that poisonous mentality of thinking that if I don't get 30 or 20, I didn't have a good game. It's just one of those things that I just feel, I wish that I could shake kids and just be like, it's not about that, bro.
Right.
Man, winning cures all, man. Like, you didn't have to do that. And again, I was saying, it's just letting someone know, like, but you rebounded the hell out of the ball. Right. Or, you defended the hell out of that kid. You know what I mean? Like, You know, those are the things. You took smart shots. It just didn't fall today. Sometimes you can't throw a rock in the ocean. You know what I mean? Sometimes it feels like that. You feel me?
Right.
So like being able to have those types of conversations with your players, I think is extremely important. And I think that it becomes super advantageous when you're a player coach, meaning that you've played before, because you can identify with that feeling of, yeah, I know what it feels like to be that guy on my team and know that my team is looking to me to numerally score the ball and I'm struggling to score the basketball. But I also learned through my experiences how to impact the game significantly in other ways to pass it to my players.
Right. And that's one thing that I love that I have the ability to do and to explain to kids like, yo, I get it. I get it. And you could feel you could be mad at yourself, right?
Sure.
Maybe you missed a couple shots that you know you could hit, or you know, the normal ones you make, you know, you could be mad at yourself, but you have to keep the bigger picture at mind. Like, yo, we won by 20, we won by 22. It's cool. It's cool. You know what? Kids that normally don't score double figures was getting double. You should be happy for them.
Right.
Yeah, you was balling today. You know what I mean? Like,
and the bigger picture is simply this. In the bigger games, they ain't going to be getting those opportunities. It's going to be on you. So, like you said, you know, and that's important, man. As a culturalistic thing, I've always felt it to be important to make sure that those guys who are the 8th, 9th, and 10th man get in the game, bro. That's my job. Like, especially when you're playing certain teams that you know you should beat. It's not about me at that point, bro. I'm not about trying to go out here and get 40 against, this team. It's about me getting the dub early, getting up by 20 early, and then going watching my younger teammates, or, you know what I mean, my other teammates who aren't necessarily starters in the rotation, giving them the opportunity to play and sit on the bench with my towel and, let's get it. You know what I mean? And that culturalistic way of building that, I think, is super duper important to the overall program. You know,
absolutely, 100% agree, brother. So if we stay on this topic, right? I like where we're headed with this winning and coaching. So, how important is it, right, to be a positionless player?
Ooh, this is
and let's keep it how you had it. Let's keep it at all tiers, because I like that tier thing, right? And I'm gonna start with saying this. Like, I have a young kid that I've been working with, and he's only 7 years old, but he's tall, he's lanky. So he's just starting to play basketball, and you know where his coach put him?
Under the basket.
Under the basket.
Rebound the ball.
Under the basket. And I think on the first tier, that is the worst thing that you could do for a kid, is to limit his abilities and skill by saying this is where you're going to be, right? You cut this kid's imagination off of creativity for basketball by saying you're only a big, because you and I have come across a lot of players that, 7 years old, they might be taller than everybody, but by the time they get more advanced in the game and get to a higher level, that now big is a guard and they can't handle the ball and they don't have the particular movements to be at that position because it's just so unnatural for them. Right. So at the tier 1 level, when we're talking, like you said, 3rd, 4th grade kids that are just starting to play and understand basketball team concept, it is very important for those coaches to treat every player as, in terms of skill, the same. Right? I'm going to teach you how to dribble the basketball. I'm going to teach you how to make proper layups. I'm going to teach you how to swing through on the wing. I'm going to teach you how to post up. I'm going to teach you, like, I feel like every kid should know all and everything. I might be the littlest kid, but I should know how to post up, right? I should know how to use my body in case of a mismatch, right? How to score out of those positions, because at some point if you play basketball, you will be in all types of positions. Just because I'm a point guard don't mean I stand at the top of the key for 40 minutes and dribble the basketball and pass. Like, that's just not the way the game is played, right? You even see players like on the high level, like Chris Paul. I'm posting guards up. I'm playing out of that position. You know what I mean? So I think at that very early age, kids should learn everything they can about positions in basketball and skill sets to aid them to be, right? And that's how you get a KD, bro. That's how you get a KD, because it's like, yo, here's a kid who, nah, I'm gonna be a guard. I'm gonna change the game, and then he's been like that his whole life, his whole career. You know, like from young KD on up, it's always been that tall guard, 6'9", 6'10". Even probably when he was younger, like that's who he became, right? But I'm pretty sure somebody said, yo, you're not just gonna learn how to play in the post with your back to the basketball, you know. And as you slide on up the tiers, right, you just put yourself in better position to be able to play more if you can do more as a player. If you could do more. Listen, if I'm like, for me, a perfect example, when I was in college, right, my coach asked me, said, look, our big man is out my senior year. Our big 6'9" kid, I think he broke his foot, was out for a while. It changes our whole lineup now. Coach is like, yo, do you mind playing the 4? Bro, I ain't no 4. I ain't no 4 in college. I'm not no college 4, bro. You know, I'm on that wing. But the one thing that I did well from a guard position was I knew how to box out and rebound, right? So now it's like, yo, you could play the 4. You could run all 4 spots. You could be in those 4. You could set screens like a 4, but because of your guard abilities now, it's a huge mismatch for a 4 to guard you, right? Because of your skill set. But now you can play in those spots, in those positions, and understand and rebound and help us and aid us and do the things that we need. Now I can change the lineup up as a coach. Now I might be able to go smaller, right? But because you guys understand how to play positions, right, then we can maintain or we can be effective, right? So for me, it's important. Like when I see younger kids, like you ain't no position, you ain't a point guard. If I get a 7-year, you ain't no point guard. You're not a. I'm going to teach you the game of basketball.
Right.
Teach you the game of basketball, right? And then you find out how you want to play the game, how you want to utilize and set those skills to aid you as a player, right? Everybody plays the game different, right? Everybody has something that they feel comfortable with, and they can that makes them effective, right? You got players like I don't know why he pops in my head, but to me, he was a position changer, Antoine Walker, right? Right? Like he was that stretch 4, 3-4 position, but yeah, he a bucket. He was boogie, right? How he played, right? So he utilized his position, but he played the way he wanted to play, right? So I think it's very important. To me, it's very important. You ain't no position. You're going to be taught the game of basketball, and then you adapt how you want to play.
It's funny that you mentioned this, man. I want to shout out Coach Maribel from St. Peter's Prep, man. We had this conversation briefly Friday night about the positionless player, and he took a stance of him not preferring the teaching of positionless basketball. And I understood what he was trying to say when it comes to guys not understanding how to play the point guard position, because that's what we were highlighting at the time. And he is coaching at a Catholic high school in Jersey City. That's a very good high school. And at that level, you do need to have a guy who understands what it is to be an actual point guard, right? Like facilitate offense, understand that their shot comes second, but in this game, we see a lot of point guards now have more of a, Dame Lillard, Steph Curry type of mentality, even though they haven't proven it, where they want to score as much as whoever the scorer on their team is, right? So staying with what you were talking about earlier about the tiers, I think in the beginning stages of basketball, there should be no such thing as positions. Right. I believe that at the younger ages, they have to have been introduced to all the requisite foundational skills of basketball. They need to know how to dribble, shoot, and pass from everywhere on the floor. Now, when it comes to understanding how to post yourself up and stuff like that, those are things that I feel like personally, this is where I have an issue with youth basketball. Like, you should have to apply to be a youth basketball coach. You should not just be like, yo, I'm the father of such and such, so I'm just going to be this coach. Because if you don't have the requisite skill set to be able to teach kids how to play basketball, you doing them a major disservice. And as you, like you, I have a kid who this kid is so athletic, man. And the biggest thing about him is people wrote him off because he was unorthodox. He was a big kid, bigger than everyone else, didn't have like the basketball smoothness of skill, right? So stuck him underneath the basket, right? And made him a rebounder. Not even teaching him, oh, okay, I'm underneath the basket. Cool. I can inside pivot, I can post up, I can drop step, up and under. You didn't teach him any of that. You just taught him he the biggest kid, so let me put you underneath the basket and get the rebounds for the shorter guards who miss it, right? And then what happens is he's a freshman in high school now, and he wants to play basketball, but he's not the biggest kid anymore, right? So his position is pushing him to go to the perimeter now. And I'm not even talking about 4. I'm talking about, you're a 3 to a 2. So you have to have ball handling skill. You have to have the ability to pass. You have to be able to shoot the basketball from the perimeter. I mean, have some form, right? So as I'm having these conversations, his mom is asking me, what is it that I see in this kid? And I'm like, the problem is not what I see. The problem is what the person did with him before I saw him, right? Like I see the potential of where this kid can go. He's athletic as hell. He's going to be dunking by the middle of next year, right? Like easily too. Not even like on some struggling stuff. He just needs to learn how to jump. His hand is at the rim. He just needs to learn how to jump in basketball context, right? Ball handling wise, he needs to improve his ball handling. He has a nice, decent mid-range jump shot that he even told me, I haven't never used this. I never did this before, right? So it was another, in my experience of training and working with players and coaching players, it's just another thing where I'm just like, at these younger ages, who the hell is filtering who these people are that's coaching? Because the point guard should not be your smallest kid. Just because he's the smallest kid, he's the point guard. Like, what is his skill set? What can he do and what can't he do? And that brings it back to winning and losing. You guys are more focused on winning games at 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade when it doesn't matter at all. You're more concerned with getting championship trophies and winning the 3rd grade league and the 4th grade winter league instead of teaching these kids the requisite skills that they need to know. And part of that is because you don't understand your position. When in youth basketball, your position is to prepare that kid for the next level.
Right.
Your job is not about winning championships. And I see these guys all the time walking around with their, youth league basketball champions jacket or hoodie on, and they don't have one kid playing high school basketball.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like your career was over your career started in 3rd grade and it's over in 7th grade because of this guy's ineptitude to teach you how to play basketball. So I am a proponent of positionless basketball. And the reason why I feel that way is because I was always in pursuit of trying to become the most complete player I could, which means that I needed to know other skills outside of what, people thought a guard is, right? Because I wanted to differentiate myself. I wanted to be able to be in positions because my favorite player is Kobe Bryant. So watching Kobe Bryant develop, he had post game, he had perimeter game, he had footwork game, he had ball handling game, he had ability to be able to facilitate. He had crazy handles. He could shoot from everywhere on the floor. There was not an unorthodox shot for him. You might have thought it was unorthodox, but it wasn't for him because he put the work into it, right? So that was, my, how can I say it? That was the person that I looked at and said, okay, if I want to play basketball and I want to create longevity within this game, my job is to try to become the most complete player I can, which means that as a guard, like you said, my senior year in particular, I was playing with freshmen. I had 4 freshmen and it was myself, right? And I'm a senior. So I had to learn in order to neutralize the defense and take responsibility away from many of my guards who didn't really understand how to play college basketball was to post myself up and run the offense through me in the post where I'm facilitating offense for you. I know I can, with one dribble away from the basket, I can score the basketball, right? I can get into my up and unders. I can get into, my drop steps, and I understood how to do a turnaround jump shot and all of those things. But for my team, if I did not have the ability to be able to post up, we would have had 5 guys on the perimeter trying to dribble, right? Where when sitting down with my coach and having these conversations, very similar to yourself, he said, yo, I'm thinking about posting you up. And I'm like, cool. I'm cool with that. His initial reaction is like, really? I'm like, yeah. Because I knew exactly what he thought. Yo, I got to get the ball out of these kids' hands. And I got to put the ball in a position where Lamar does not have to work so hard on the perimeter to create shots. Right?
And also put some pressure on interior defense.
Right. So if I didn't have that skill set, that eliminates that option. And that's the thing that people don't realize about teaching kids foundational skills at a younger age. If you want to create longevity, if you want to play the game of basketball for a longer period of time, you have to acquire and become proficient in multiple skills. You cannot just be one thing. If you are, you got to be extremely great at that one thing. You got to be Ray Allen. You got to be Kyle Korver. You got to be JJ Redick if you just want to be a shooter. You got to be Duncan Robinson. You got to knock that thing down, because that's the only thing that Duncan Robinson does is shoot threes, right? So with that being said, it's like I am a major proponent of it, especially at the high school and collegiate levels, because at the high school and collegiate levels, it allows for the coach to manipulate situations and mismatches regardless of if you play zone or not. Because guess what? We don't have the typical big anymore. You got to come out here and you got to guard him. So he's in a 2-3 setting. You want to run that zone? Go ahead. I'm going to have my big at the top like a point guard. Right. And guess what? If your 2 guys is too small, he's going to shoot that 3 right
over you. Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just being able to manipulate, and it gives the coach a larger and a much broader landscape and canvas to paint his players within, that he can utilize them in unique ways, that may allow for them to have a extreme strategic and comparative advantage amongst their competitors. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm a big proponent of that. It's very important.
Very important, man. You do more, you can play more. Absolutely. Simple as that. We're gonna stay along this I guess path. We were just talking about this yesterday. Should Catholic coaches be held to a higher standard when it comes to winning?
We in New Jersey, man. We
in New Jersey.
We in New Jersey, man.
And we in New Jersey where yes. There's no way. There's no other way. Like, yes, because I'm in the game, bro. I'm in the game, and being in the area that I'm in, I am a picking pot for all these South Jersey Catholic schools. Just because of location. It's like I'm in the middle and they all circle me and they all come in my backyard and they like pluck, let me take him. Oh, we're going, and whatever, it is what it is. But when I look at these schools, there's only two that stick out in my head that win. And when I say win, they're bringing some type of championship home to their program.
State
championship home to their program, right?
Not a sectional.
So there's only one, which would be, would be St. Aug.
Right.
Would be St. Augustine Prep. That's, constantly putting themselves in positions to win state titles. So, there should be a standard, right? Because you have the ability, because of the school that you coach at, to pick the players that you want.
You shaking it?
Oh, my bad. I'm getting excited, man.
I see that. Everybody else can see that too.
My bad, y'all. I'm getting excited over here. You have the ability to pick the players that you want, right? Me, I have to. What I get is what I get, and a lot of times it's 1 or 2 basketball players, and then it's like, let me see what this football kid could do. He's a big kid. Look, can you just rebound? Like, I'm asking kids to do things, and it's just like I know I'm not going to get what I'm asking for, but it is what it is. It's what I have. Right. I don't have the ability to say, oh, let me go get me this point guard. All right, he good. Let me get this big. Like, I can't put pieces together like that. So I think if you can do that, if you can go get kids to build a team, then you should be held at championship standards.
Absolutely.
Right? Because what are you getting those kids just to lose? Well, we won 20 games, guys. It was a great year, but we just couldn't get the big one. You know, that team was better than us. Well, what do you mean that team was better than us? Right? You're getting the best of the best, right? I mean, you might be fighting to get these kids, but guess what? There's a pool of kids that there's enough kids that everybody can pull from to be competitive and compete, right? We talk about this all the time. You don't have to have 5. Your starting 5 doesn't have to be 5 ranked players.
Right.
You could get 1 or 2 very, very good basketball players and put pieces around them with decent / good basketball players, and you can compete.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, school basketball, you need 2. You need 2 players.
Right. And if they have decent pieces around them, right, you're going to be successful.
Absolutely.
So, to me, it comes down to, one, these coaches rely on just their talent. They're relying on the talent to win, and they don't have enough coaching ability. They don't get enough respect from their players to completely buy in. They don't, and they can't get max effort from their players because they just don't know. It's just more like, I'm going to get this talented player and I'm going to ride him out. But guess what? Especially at players at this point, they got to learn, because guess what? We just talked about it. They are going to the college level next, even if it's just for 1 year. Some of these players are going to be one and done, right? But you're going to the level now where winning is expected, and you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't know how to utilize that to win, then your coach, especially if you came from a Catholic program, your coach didn't do a great job of preparing you. I'm sorry. He didn't do a great job of preparing you to win. And gotta win, man. And if you could pick players to win, you damn sure gotta win.
No question. Now I'm in North Jersey, as you know, and it's a whole lot going on up here. Between Gill St. Bernard, Rutgers Prep, RC, Roselle Catholic, Immaculate Conception, Union Catholic, St. Peter's Prep, Paramus Catholic, Hudson Catholic. It's just it's rampant here, right? And with that being said, I think that there are certain programs, just like I look at up here in particular, and I want to distinguish it too, because I look up here as it being like a collegiate environment. Like, you got Division I kids that's just walking around, right? You have, and I'm talking about mid-level to elite high school talent that's walking around. And what I've come to understand is some coaches just don't want the smoke, bro. Like, they don't want the smoke, bro. They like, I can't get these types of kids. So, they kind of throw their hands up. And it's like, yo, hold up. There's a public school coach who's working so hard to try to get players and try to build. And people are looking at this public school coach, and they're looking at him and saying, yo, well, he's not, I don't know if he's ready or he's there. He just don't have the players. He has a program. He has a foundation. He has an understanding of how he wants to play. So if he had a situation where he can go and get players, he may not even be looking to get any of those kind of kids. He may only be looking to get 1 or 2 to fit within his already built system, right? And say, okay, I'm going to run everything through these two kids, and I'm going to go and build out around those kids. And hey, are we going to have 10 5-star recruits? No, we're not. We may only have 3. But you know what? We play the right way. We play hard. We compete with that level. We're not scared to put you on our schedule. We'll put whomever on the schedule. Again, shout out to Alex for that. Alex said, yo, I'll play anybody. I don't care who you is. You want to play my bird? I'm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I'm going to put my team out there because at the end of the day, what really gets highlighted in those situations is coaching. Because there are coaches who have 5-star athletes who haven't won shit. And when they win it, many people are like, well, damn, yo, they really don't give an indictment to the coach. Like, the indictment's on you, bro. Like,
Right.
whether it is that you don't know how to strategically put players in position to utilize their skill set, or you just lost them because your players don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? Because they just walk all over you, right? And typically that's what I'm looking at from some of these coaches is it's just like, yo, you don't got no backbone, bro. Like, your players run you.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, listen, I get it. I know it's a bigger game because you got the shoe industries involved in a lot of these kids' lives. Transferring is so easy now. It's seamless as hell. So it's like they got, a whole camp behind these kids that, it's like, yo, look, we come in here, we expect them to play 25 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we come in here, we expecting a da-da-da-da-da, and it may become an individualistic thing. So for me, if you're a Catholic school that is in an environment that you can pluck talented players, you got to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear about you winning 20 games, but you lost 5, and the 5 games that you lost are the teams that you got to beat in order to win a championship. Like, you 0-5 against them, but you beating up on, you know what I'm saying, these other schools. I don't look at them. I don't respect that. You know what I mean? For me, I believe, and this is part of the reason why we talked earlier about the Lakers championship, like, I wanted them to beat the Clippers.
Yeah, me too.
I wanted them to have to go through that. To say, yes, we are the champs. We beat whoever y'all is. Y'all said y'all was the best team or y'all was our biggest competition, whatever. Now we smoked them 4-2, sent them home. Now what? You can't say nothing, right? And that's where I find a lot of Catholic schools, particularly in the South Jersey area, man. It's a lot of these coaches out here. They got 500 wins. How many state championships you got? Oh, we got 1 state championship. Okay. How many years you been coaching there? 35 years. So you've been coaching for 35 years. You only got 1 state championship, but yet you get to recruit and you got an average winning percentage of like 92%. Like, you out here winning 25 games a year. And nah, man. Nah. Somebody has to come in there and say, yo, look, you got to put a championship up in it. You got to put some banners up in here. I'm tired of looking at 1960 banners up in here. I need some 2020 banners up in here. You know what I'm saying? And for those coaches that are winning at those levels, clearly I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who racking up all these W's because they want to play public schools and beat up on public schools, and they want to play a couple Catholic schools just to say, yo, we playing them. But then the teams that are the heavy hitters, you getting smacked by them. Or you can't even compete. It's like you losing by 15 and you think that's a moral victory. The game was close. We almost had him. No, you didn't.
Right.
You got cracked. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that because there's other public school coaches that are dying for that. Yo, all I need is an opportunity to recruit. All I need is to be able to just say, yo, I want to pluck this kid or get this kid. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you definitely should be held at a higher standard. You got to win. And I ain't talking about just accumulating W's. I mean, you got to win.
Hardware.
Championship.
We won. And I agree, man. Like, I'm one of those coaches that would die for the opportunity to be able to recruit kids because I believe in my coaching ability, right? Because I've been able to make things happen with the kids that I've had, right? Whatever school I've been at, right? Like, you've been a part of the process at one of my schools. Like, we made things happen with the players that we had, right? But then you get to a certain point where you're going to meet a team that the talent won't match up, and there's nothing you can do about it. You could compete, but it's just not going to happen, right? So, got to have that hardware, man. Like, there's no excuse.
But I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with you. The next 3 years, it's sewn up. Roselle Catholic gonna win the state championship. I'm saying that now. I don't see another team that is remotely close to them from top to bottom. And we've had this conversation because I've gotten the opportunity to watch them closely. You've uttered throughout this podcast something that is so resonating with that team. They like each other.
Huge, bro.
They like each other, bro. Huge. They on the bench. Yo, get at him. Yo, they cheer each other on. I've seen several times that unselfishness led to, like, you know how we always talk about overpassing and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't overpassing because for the sake of overpassing. It was overpassing because they really wanted to see this person get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see him catch this lob. I really want to see him catch and shoot this three. We got to get him one. You know what I mean? Like, that's the environment. So, and they have so much talent, and they're just special. That's a special group of kids, man. They're all sophomores for the most part, with a couple seniors.
Right.
So, I look at them and I'm like, man, that dude is in such a great position, you know, but it's going to become difficult. Because, a lot of dudes don't understand, man. You want that. Okay. Because after that sophomore, junior year, when them offers start coming in and people want to get a bigger role and they want this and they want that and it's going to get hairy for you, bruh. But again, this is where I talk about people knowing how to recruit. Listen, in the college game, you can't recruit like Kentucky and Duke and Kansas can recruit. They literally can recruit whoever they want to recruit. Guess what? You could have been recruiting that kid for 4 years. And as soon as they get a letter from Kentucky, you're done. Like, it's over for you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But there are those Kawhi Leonards. There are those Paul Georges. There are those Steph Currys. There are those guys who are coming from these programs.
Yeah. CJ McCollum, Dame Lillard, right.
It's your ability to see it. It's your ability as a coach to say, no, I need that. I don't need
and then those coaches are why those coaches are able to pull off big upsets, because they have those players and the pieces around them, and they understand. They understand, like, yo, I might not want that top guy because his ego don't fit what I've built, right? So absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, man. We working, man. We gonna get you up this way, man. I don't know how, but we gonna figure it out, man, because you gotta get in this fire. You gotta get in this fire.
I want to be in the lava. I want to be in that lava. I want all the smoke.
Man, shout out to Jeff. Man.
I want all the smoke. You know, but like, just like them, like, and we've talked about it. I'm excited for what I have in store right now with my kids, because no, they're not talented like Roselle Catholic, right? But as in terms of, I have kids that enjoy playing together, and it was so apparent yesterday because we went to the homecoming game for football to show our support. And shout out Winslow football, man. 4-0, first time school's been undefeated in like 15 years, ranked right now in South Jersey. They got 2 huge upsets this year. They shut out Camden first game of the season, and they beat Woodrow Wilson. Matter of fact, they shut out Woodrow Wilson too. So they've been balling this year. So huge shout out to them and Coach Scott and his coaching staff. But
keep it up. Keep it up.
We were at the homecoming game yesterday, and like, they all were with each other. Like, we were all standing together, and like, you know, like, you tend to listen to conversation, and like, it's just like, yo, the teams I have had in the past, it was so cliquish, like 3 over here and then, you know, like 2 over there. And they were all next to each other, laughing, joking, busting jokes on each other. Like, and I'm sitting there in my mind and I'm like, wow, like, this is special. This is really special. Like, you don't get this often, especially at the public school, right? You might get it a little bit. It might be a little bit different at Catholic schools, but at the public school level, you don't get this often. Like, you don't get kids that just mesh together, right? So, man, huge shout out to my team. I'm excited for the years I got coming. I'm young too. I'm sophomore, junior. I got 2 seniors. That's it. And so I'm excited for the next couple of years. I mean, I believe, you know, and I believe this in like wholeheartedly, that in these next 3 years we might be able to win a state title in group 3. You know, if we stay group 3, I don't know what, you know, numbers now with COVID and things like that, how things will fluctuate is in terms of what group we'll be in. But if we stay in group 3, I think for the next 3 years, we could be one of those dominating teams in group 3. And so I'm excited, man. I got a bunch of young, hungry dudes that all have said like they want to be the first group to bring that hardware to the school, and they hungry for it. And they back their words up with, like you said, wanting to work through the times of what's going on. Like, nah, ain't no excuses, coach. We conditioning, we doing everything that you ask of us, and we all gonna come, and that's it. So big shout out to my young boys, man. I'm excited for what the future holds, man. I really am.
You brought up something I want to jump in there on that, man, because listen, don't call my phone or text me about working out because your season about to start in December. It's too late. All right, it's too late. It's too late. I ain't
coach. I'm trying to get better.
Keeping it a buck. Nah, I'm for real though, because some of these people have been people who have been hitting me throughout COVID. Yeah, I want to work out. Blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, you had all summer. You had the spring through the summer. You feel me? To get in the gym and work. Don't hit me talking about, yo, can I get a couple sessions in? No, you can't. Why? Because I'm focused on those kids who've been locked in with me. You understand? I'm focused on those kids who would really put in the time and made the commitment, because that's what I'm about. I'm not about just working with kids just to work with kids. You want somebody to work with you and rebound the ball for you? Cool. Go get somebody else. But if you're trying to work and develop, you got to be committed, because I show up and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I only want to work with people who are about that action. I don't want to work with you just because you think you can, it's like studying, it's like cramming for a test.
Exactly what it is.
Then what's going to happen when you get cut is you're going to try to blame me or blame someone else as to why you ain't make the team. And it's like, you don't got the skill, bro, because you don't put the time into this. Basketball is the thing that you got to put time into just to get this much better.
Absolutely.
A significant amount of time and reps just to get this better. And if you think that somebody can do that, listen, man, I would be a multi-billionaire if I could be able to make you a high school phenom in 3 weeks.
Right. Right.
And what bothers me the most is, I'm exposed to the kids who really bout it. And I'm like, oh, y'all generation, it's so easy for y'all generation. Because y'all generation, the younger generation, they don't want to work. So when I look at the kids who want to work, it's like they keep excelling past, because generally y'all don't really want to work. Y'all look at somebody who's ranked and you have no idea what the type of work that dude puts in. I know somebody in particular that puts in 7 days of work, a week work. They in the gym, shooting, ball handling, finishing, working on their body, up in the morning, on the track, in the gym, lifting weight, like. And then you look at them and you like, well, man, how he get ranked? It's like he got ranked because he put that work in, bro. You understand? And some of y'all just don't do that, man. And it's just it's sad, because basketball is the cheapest sport. You don't need anybody to get better. You got all these outlets of YouTube and guys like me who post stuff on Instagram to give you workouts for free. You understand? And it's like, that's the problem that is given to so many of y'all. And we had to work for it. Y'all don't even know what it is to not be able to go to camps because you only can go invite only. So you had to make a name for yourself to get invited to the camp in order to go to the camp. You can go pay for camps, but you know what it is. You paying for that camp, you get segmented from the real cats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just a different game now. And it's just like, y'all just not about that work, man. And this time over COVID was a very advantageous time for players to get better. And I can't wait for the season to start, because it's going to be so easy to tell who has been working from who has not.
Absolutely. That's the best way. Like, and you can't make excuses, man. You can't shortcut the game. The game's always going to win. It don't work that way. That was like the perfect analogy. Can't cram for the test. Like, you got this big exam coming up, you ain't passing. You ain't passing.
And you know it too. You know it.
You know what it is? You try to make your mind at ease. I'll put some time in this. Whatever. Yeah, I studied. Yeah.
Get out there as soon as they put that paper down. When the teacher walk down the aisle and give you the test, you look at the first word like,
I didn't study this. I didn't see this.
It's over. It's over.
Wait, what?
You start looking around. You start hitting one of these. Yeah.
You got the same test? You got the same one? Like,
you see that scan?
Keep your eyes to your own test, please.
Yeah. Okay, and that basically means it's a warning shot to let you know, I see that you're trying to cheat.
Yeah, I know you're not prepared. All right.
Exactly.
right? And then you pick up the pages, you scan through. I know that one. I know that one. What coach say? Are we doing layups? Oh, I could do layups. I could do layups, right? Nah, that's perfect analogy, bro. Like you can't cram for basketball. Nah, you're not gonna learn a skill set. You're not gonna know. No, not at all. It don't work that way.
I got players hitting me, which you know. Before we hopped on this pod, I was in the gym. And I mean, this young man, he reminds me of myself, and he will remind you of yourself. He just a gym rat, bro. Like, he about that. It don't matter. Like, he ain't worried about nothing else but being in the gym. And he could be in the gym for 4 or 5 hours. And, yeah, he is working. You know what I mean? Yeah, in 4 or 5 hours, is he working 4 or 5 hours straight through? No. But I know for a fact I've seen him put a workout in, right, on his own.
Okay.
Schedule a workout with me. And when I walk in the gym, he's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, getting ready to prepare himself for the workout with me. Then he may go post and be like, "Yo, coach, I just want to shoot some more just free throws or some jump shots, just keep working, whatever." Like, that's the type of kid that he is. And you initially would think, "Oh, he's trying to impress you." But I've watched it over this whole COVID period. This is who this kid is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he's about. So, yeah, when he hits me and says, "Yo, coach, can we go in the morning?" Even if that's not what our typical rotation is, I'm there. Because I know he wants to be there.
Right.
And so it's just a difference, man. It's just a difference.
Absolutely. And when you get players like that, how refreshing is that, man?
Bro, listen.
It makes you love the game even more.
Bro, I will work with that kid till he's 50 years old. If he keeps that same mentality, because you gotta think, man, certain people don't realize this. I'm a gym rat too. So it doesn't bother me to be 85 degrees, 90 degrees outside and be in the gym working. Like, that doesn't bother me. As long as the people who are in the gym that I'm with is working too. Like, worst thing in the world is to get to the gym and find out at 85 degrees, it ain't a cloud in sight. And the person who you're working with is just a drag. They draining. They don't got the energy. They don't want to work hard. It's like a chore. You know what I'm saying? That to me, bro, I work with that kid anywhere. I work with that kid in the closet if I need to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you. It's dope. Nah, that's what's up. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to that young man.
Ethan Simmons, man.
Ethan, man. Don't ever lose that, man. That is going to propel you to be great.
Yes. And as he keeps acquiring these skills, it won't be long before he get in that Fetty to play this game. You know what I mean? So shout out to my young bull.
Shout out, man. As always, man, we always like to hit y'all with our players' points, right? And really want to get into just mastering the mental game of basketball, right? So it is big for players, right? And I got a list. And my number one is learning to read the opposing players to spot their tendencies and their weaknesses. Like, huge. Like, if you look at guys obviously we just talked about Kobe Bryant, man, Michael Jordan, guys that were killers, right? But what made them, right, so unique was the ability to want to study film to pick up these tendencies and weaknesses in their opponents, right? Because when I'm coming at you, those are the things that I'm going to attack. And you can't do nothing about it because I studied you to a T. I know you. I know what you're going to do. I mean,
for sure.
That's how I am when I break down film. Like, when I watch film, I'm watching it 3 or 4 times. And the first time I might go through is just to watch the game. The second time I go through, all right, let's break down what sets they run. And then I'm going through and I'm going to watch tendencies. Like, things as if he dribbles the ball 2 times to his left, he's crossing over to his right. He's not dribbling outside 3 dribbles, right? So now these are things that you can rely to your players and pass it on. And now it's when those things click in your head, you got the advantage. Ball's in his left hand. Oh, he taking 2 dribbles. I'm expecting a move around that 2 or 3 dribble. Now you can start shutting players down. Now you can make players do what you want to do on the defensive end. right? If he's a bad defender, you know how to make him slide a certain way. You know, he can't get through screens. I'm gonna run him through screens. Like, it's a big part of players' process, and it's the mental game that doesn't require you to dribble the basketball at this point. It's not requiring you to work on your jump shot. You're working on your sharpness of your mind, right? By being able to pick up on those things. What you think?
I think the greatest coaches are coaches that do not coach basketball, but coach between the ears, right? So I think that as a player, right, I think, and this is going to tie into the winning culture and mindset and all of that stuff. I think it's important.
It all goes together anyway, bro.
I just think that it, like, all of those things are responsibilities of the whole team, right? So even if I'm not a starter, right, and I had to learn this in college, like, I wasn't a starter initially, right? So I had to learn how to prepare myself, you know what I mean, before I got out there. Yeah, we got scouting reports and things like that, but it was an ego thing initially for me. Like, yo, I ain't starting. Man, this is whack, bro. Like, I'm better than him, or I'm just as good as him. I ain't starting, blah. But I realized how advantageous it was for exactly what you're saying right now. Yes, I had a scouting report. Yes, we had a thorough scouting report. We watched film, right? You know Coach Spiro. Shout out to Coach Spiro. He gonna write you a whole page.
Whole novel.
Everything that dude do. He chew gum on his left side. He, you know what I mean? He gonna have everything down to a T. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, man, he was extremely accurate with what his scouting reports were. However, you know, there is still it still comes 0-0, teams come in and boom, you got your starters out there, right? And it's gonna be at that moment, do you remember what his tendencies are? Right. Whereas for me, I had the advantage of sitting and watching. And when I realized that basketball really didn't have much to do with me, but like what you said, it had to do with we, it became a focal point of me of saying to my teammates, like, yo, B, yo, remember, yo, every time he goes left, he going for a pull-up. Every time he try to go right, he trying to finish. So when he do that double cross with his right hand, no, he trying to go to the basket. When he go between right to left, he trying to go pull up. You know what I'm saying? And that's the selflessness and me wanting my teammate to do well. You understand? Right. Versus me just being like, cool, I know it. So when coach put me in, well, maybe coach don't put me in. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you sitting there thinking in your mind, cool, I got this. I know how to guard him. I got this. I downloaded all his tendencies. And it's like, bro, you ain't getting off the bench. So what's the information for? Pass that along to your teammate.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Your bigs. Just because I'm a guard don't mean I ain't watching the bigs tendencies. He's a right shoulder finisher, bro. This is what he gonna do. He gonna finish over that right shoulder. When he goes to his left shoulder, he really looking to pass. So what you want to do is get to that right shoulder and force him to turn back to his left shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are small things when you're talking about studying players' tendencies. But I just wanted to throw in there the fact that that is a team-wide responsibility, not just one particular player. If you want to take yourself to the next level as a player, you start to learn tendencies of all five of those players. Right. You start learning tendencies not just with the guy you're guarding, but also what they typically like to do, those other players as well. You know what I'm saying? And when you wind up getting to the savant level of LeBron and Kobe, you start learning, when he come in off the bench, these are the sets they're going to run.
Right.
You start calling out their sets. And now it becomes a matter of like, damn, this dude is an actual coach.
Right.
Playing, right. So
not to cut you off, that's one of the biggest things that I like about LeBron James is like that mental aspect. It might be second to none, bro, of how he can orchestrate. And you know, I just remember seeing, you might have even sent it to me, seeing something on Instagram when he was in Toronto, when I'm drawing a blank. What's my man's name? DeMar DeRozan was there, and the player comes on and he don't know the play, and LeBron's like, "Nah, you need to do this, you need to do that." Like, I would look at LeBron like this too, like, damn, bro, you know our plays like that. Like, it's just, you know, that's the mental side and the IQ of the game, man.
It's preparation. And that's why That's one of the things that, like, when people think I'm a, my circle of people think that I'm a LeBron hater, you just don't understand where that criticism comes from. But talk about mental ability, like his IQ for the game of basketball. I've seen this dude throw a pass from one side of the court through the middle of the defense to another person and hit them in a wheelhouse. Like, bro, like that doesn't come from just your passing ability. It comes from your IQ. I know that this dude is locked in on these things, but I know he be sleep. He be snoozing. So, whoop, I'm going to just throw that joint. You feel me? And it's like, that's an ability for him to also make players around him better. I will never take that away from LeBron. And Shannon Sharp has said it earlier in the week about how he'd be getting people rings. Come on over here, you get a ring. And he do. He get people rings, and he puts people in positions to be successful, and that's to his credit, man. You can't take that type of stuff away from him, man. They got to give credit where credit's due. So, when it comes to understanding players' tendencies, that's just the surface level, man, of this IQ thing. But it's extremely important, and it's a phase that as a beginner player, or not a beginner player, but as a high school player and a collegiate player, it'll separate you pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Our second point at mastering the mental game, and our player's point, is pushing through fatigue, right?
Right.
It is easy, and I've been there as a player, to when you hit that wall of fatigue, right, before you learn how to really become better at your craft and become a better basketball player, we've all hit that wall where it's like, and you kind of give up. You kind of like, damn, now I ain't got no more to give. Like, I gave you everything. You think I gave you everything that I have, and just not realizing like that wall, it's kind of an illusion, right? It's your first, I guess you could say, defense mechanism of you saying, yo, you're tired, right? But there is a lot more in the tank, especially if you have prepared yourself as in terms of training and things like that, right? You got more in the tank. It's just telling yourself mentally, like, no, all right, no, I can keep going. And yes, I can still perform at a high level, right? I gotta get past this point right here, right? And players, best believe if you're feeling that way, your opponent is feeling that way too, right? So this is where the separation starts to happen now, right? Like, he's tired, I'm tired, yeah, but I got way more to give, right? I can keep going, and that starts to separate. You can start to show your dominance. You can start to show you're better. You can start to make plays for you and your teammates, winning plays, because you're able to continue to push through moments of fatigue. And yes, you're going to get tired in the game. There's no such thing as not getting tired, right? It's being able to kind of calm your mind down and being able to think more, because especially for young players, when they get tired, mentally they start to speed up and they try to make things happen. And those when turnovers start to happen, those when mistakes start to happen, bad passes, and you like, man, I forgot to play, and you kind of have to slow down, right? And a good thing that I like to tell my players, and this is something that I started to develop over just a year ago, is like, when we do have those mistakes, like, to try to kind of take a timeout, and really in that timeout is just to focus on them of slowing their breathing down, right? Relax, come on, everybody take some deep breaths. All right, cool. Like, all right, let's think. Why did we just turn that ball over, right? Coach, my bad. Like, you know what I mean? And now if you could start to have them to think through those moments, again, it's the mind, right? You said we're trying to coach between the ears. What is between the ears? So if the mind can slow down and start to think in those moments, your body's going to follow, right? Your body's going to follow. So for all you young players out there, when you get fatigued, just slow down, slow the mind down, start to think more in those moments, and continue to push. Don't slow down. Don't slow the body down. Don't slow down the effort. Just slow the mind down.
Well, for me, man, I agree. But for me, I've always said, man, fatigue is not an excuse not to perform. Every athlete is going to get tired. You're an athlete. You're going to get tired. The difference between those who succumb to fatigue and those who overcome fatigue is their level of focus on the task at hand. And if the thought process and your thinking, I be honest, I don't really tell players to think, because I think thinking leads to hesitation. right? So I think that it's about being able to understand what the task is at hand. So when you see that you're down by 4 and you're tired and you just took a ridiculous shot, right? You took that ridiculous shot trying to get 4 points back, right?
Right.
In one shot. But, you know, in that level of fatigue, you need to understand, like, yo, I'm tired and I can't get that shot. But
Right.
what I could do is get into the paint and create a shot for someone else.
Right.
I'm tired. Or I could get into the paint and draw a foul so that we could stop this situation right now, and I can get to the free throw line, and I can
Stop the clock, right.
and I can stop the clock. I can cut into the lead, and coach can get us organized into a press situation or whatever our defensive situation is. You know, so when you talk about thinking, I think about it from a perspective of focusing on the task at hand, one possession at a time. What just transpired? What do we need to do?
Right.
And if I'm tired, right, I know what I can't do because of me being tired.
Right.
Right. Offense is when I'm supposed to take my time.
Absolutely.
Defense, I can't take my time. I gotta exert that energy, right? So
red dog.
Right. When the fatigue hits you,
right.
Smart basketball players understand that the offensive end is where, okay, cool, yo. I'm not looking to just go now. I'm gonna catch my breath because we gonna run this set, and guess what? It may get entered to me, and I'm not gonna make the first pass. I'm gonna let him cut through. And as that's happening, all right, we move the ball. I'm cutting through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gathering that breath as I go through. And it's really advantageous in New Jersey because your high school don't have shot clock.
Right.
So it's like, it ain't like New York. New York got the shot clock. It's like, yo, you only got 35 seconds. Like,
right.
So you got to get a good shot up, whether you're tired or not. You know, however, I think that what happens to a lot of players is fatigue becomes the focus. And that's where mistakes happen. Because I'm tired, and I just threw the ball, and I threw the ball. Why'd you throw the ball like that? Because I'm tired. Like, nah, you can't make that play. You got to come over half court and say, yo, coach, I need one.
Right.
Instead of trying to make some play because you can't make it when you're tired. So I just think that fatigue makes a coward of us all. But I think that a part of that cowardice that comes out in fatigue is just your inability to focus on the task at hand and understand who you are in that moment. Like, everybody gets tired, bro. But if you got a wide open shot, you can't miss it. It's a wide open shot. You got to make it. You can't blame being tired on missing that shot. Right. You definitely can't blame being tired on the reason why you get beat off the dribble on one dribble. Like, somebody jab at you and they beat you. You can't be like, yo, coach, because I was tired.
Tell me that.
Cool. I'm glad you said that.
Now, go get him. Go get him.
Right. Go sit next to the cooler and don't tell me that you're good. You better not tell me when I walk that way that you're good.
Coach, I'm good, Coach. I'm good now.
Yeah, I know you good. You good right where you at.
Have a seat and stay right there.
So
yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's also, it's just having the ability to keep a clear head when the intensity and the physicality increase. You know, like, it's just that clean head, that clear head. Another aspect I have was, I think it's important for the mental game and mental aspect in players is to be put and play in hostile environments.
No question.
Because we've always said, like, especially being players, like, those are situations we want to be in anyway. Absolutely. Right. I love when I was like in the grind of my career, like, I used to love playing on the road, knowing that we're going to a gym that's going to be packed because they had a good, fan base or a good student body. And I love being in those moments and being kind of the bad guy. Like, I'm coming here to beat your team, and that's what I want. I want you, like, not liking me. I want you to boo me, and I want to get out here and get buckets on that. Like, that's how it, it will fuel me. And also, like, in those situations, everything's intensified. So when you do have a turnover or you take a bad shot, it's just the intensity and the environment's going to make those things seem like they're worse, and it's having the ability in those moments, like, again, to push through, like, you know what I mean? Especially if if those things equate to a run and you got the opposing crowd going crazy now
Right.
because your turnover led to a dunk or
Right.
it led to a 3-pointer and it was a vital spot, it was a vital part in the game. Like you have to have the ability in those moments to be cool.
Right.
To be cool. Like, all right, cool. It is what it is. You know what? Well, we're gonna come back down. We're gonna get a possession that's going to silence that.
Yeah.
You're right. So
I mean, for me, much like yourself, man, for me, I know throughout my collegiate career, some of my best games were on the road and in those environments. And part of the reason why that is because I get fueled off of the environment and the energy in the environment. I don't really pay attention to the boos or whether somebody got something to say or not. There are moments and times where people don't realize you just said something, cool. You know what I mean? Like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going now.
You don't know.
now I'm about to kill. You know what I mean?
Right.
But not to say that I pay attention to that, but there may be moments just like any other time where you overhear something. Somebody might say something or whatever it may be. But for me, I just feel like being in pressure-packed situations is a comfort level for me. Like, I'm more comfortable in that situation than a quiet gym. Yeah, I don't like an environment if it's quiet and when playing basketball. It just makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, but when you're in that hostile environment and you got, listen, I like it very similar to Stay Hungry. Shout out to Stay Hungry. I like that. I like that environment. I like that mode. I like that. Yeah, if you shoot an air ball, somebody gonna have something to say to you about it. And it's not just gonna be the air ball. It's gonna be, yo, you suck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna go at you. And for me, it was a clear indication for me who I was riding with, like on my team. Like, what is their response like? Like, oh shit. Sometimes you be feeling like, oh, I'm out here by myself.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, dog. Like, all right, cool. Then I already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's moments where you got that other dog on your team that's like, yo, let's go. Fuck you doing? Let's go. Like, oh, right.
Right. My bad, yo, my bad, bro. My bad.
Yeah, I was slipping. My bad.
Right.
Get to it now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's so important where you have those moments. And again, for us to we keep going back to it, but again, winning culture, man, it's that mindset of picking your teammate up. It's that mindset of going into that war, that battle together. You know what I mean? And just sometimes it is just that. I know for me personally, I'm a guy who I don't care. Like, you can yell at me, just don't curse me. You know what I mean? But you could yell at me. You could tell me, yo, what the hell is you doing, yo? Like, you know what I mean? And I know where that's coming from. That's coming from like, yo, bro, I'm gonna get the rebound, shoot it. Like, what you doing right now, bro? Like, you know what I mean? And it's not coming from a place of like you trash or you against me. And for me, that's sometimes all certain players need, man. Certain players just need that in that hostile environment, and that changes the camaraderie and the respect level that you have for your teammates. Ultimately, you know what I mean. And I had some white boys on my team that was some dogs. Like, yo, like they wasn't the best, but yo, it was like, yo, I want him on my team, bro, because he going
to war. He going to war with you.
He gonna work hard. He gonna dive on the ball. He gonna pick me up. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get it. He gonna set that hard screen. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like he's setting it because he's like, yo, you're the best player. I know that. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. But I'm here too. I'm here fighting with you too. Like, it ain't just I'm just out here. You feel me? And that is what has led me in post career to having long friendships with these people.
Absolutely.
Because I understand what you built up, what your character is. You don't care nothing about, race, environment, any of that. It's about winning. It's about basketball. It's about you bringing your skill set to the table and you knowing that your teammate is expected to bring his to that level as well. You know what I mean?
And that's a great point, man. Like, again, everything goes back to winning and winning culture, right? Like, but it's having teams and players understanding their roles, right? Because that's what you're saying. Like, you've had players that understood their roles, but listen, you might, I get we're the best player. And again, we need you, right? But I'm going to be great at what I do. if I gotta set these hard screens all night for you, guess what, bro? I'm here. I got you.
Right.
Yo, I've had players tell me, yo, run them this way.
Yeah.
Next play.
Yep.
Yo, you ain't I coming out of timeout, yo, like coach, coach, listen, we gotta find a way to get him a shot. Like he hasn't gotten a shot in a while. If I have players come to me, yo, run him my way. I got you.
Right.
Run him my way, I got you. And even if it resulted in a foul,
right?
He set some hard screen on this kid. And yo, keep running him. I got you. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, I play with players like that, and that's refreshing when you can go in hostile environments and knowing, yo, you could look to your right and he with me.
Word.
I don't know if he with me, but he with me.
And listen, the crazier thing about it is, in a hostile environment, you already know who want to smoke and who don't, just how you get dressed.
Right.
Like getting dressed. There's certain people where, listen, the nervousness comes out as the rah-rah stuff. It's let's go, baby, let's go. Like, bro, you're not really about that action.
Nah,
you're not really about that action. I know who about that action. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes it's those guys who, they getting dressed and it's like they know they're not playing. They ain't come here to play. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like I've played on teams where, I haven't been the starting guy. And I've been the one fired up, but I'm not a guy who's with rah-rah. I'll just be chill. Like, I'm always going to keep the same, way in my approach. But for my teammates, I'll be like, yo, let's go, baby. Like, yo, what you looking like that for? Like, yo, okay, cool. And I've had these conversations. You can ask Jerry. I've had these okay, go ahead.
Don't let coach call me. Don't let coach call on me. You're not playing.
Word up. Like, shoot, I'm shooting the bullets till it can't. I ain't got no more left, dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want this. I'm like, yo, you see the girls in there?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm in there. Music. Right. You know what I mean? I always love when you go into an opposing crowd's gym and they got a dope warm up music. Like when they got where I can catch a vibe. Nah.
You singing every lyric of every song the whole time. Hype.
You done fucked up. You hit that jump shot in the warm up after the layups. You take that one dribble pull up. You hit that shit. Oh,
you're like, ooh,
y'all done fucked up. Y'all shouldn't have played that.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not on a tangent, but that just brought back so many memories, man.
Nah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm gonna leave y'all with one more tip, man. And it just goes on with the mental of just staying calm, cool, and collective. Is just when you're in those pressure moments, and I mean like at the foul line, no time on the clock. Going to have to make 2 foul shots, or you got last possession, ball in hand, you need a game winner, or those type possessions, like to be, excuse me, players to really take their game to the next level is just not to panic in those moments.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely not.
Right? Got to stay calm because, listen, man, I've been in a lot of basketball games, and I've been in a lot of basketball games where no matter what the score has said throughout the game is not over. The game wasn't over until that clock hit 0. No matter, I've been down 10 with less than a minute left. Like, it don't matter.
Right.
Until the clock hits 0, you continue to stay calm, and you have to have the ability to make plays. And the only way that's going to happen is if you're not frantic, and if you're not, going crazy in the mind, you're not rattled, you're focused. All right, cool. I got to make a play. And at this point in the game, again, going back to a couple points before, is being able to push through being fatigued, because you probably are tired at these moments. But cool, I'm calm. I know I can make a play. I know how I'm going to make a play. It goes back again to watching tendencies. At this moment, guess what? Your opponent might be tired. So guess what's going to show more? His weaknesses and the tendencies. If you study those, right? If you study those, now you know at this moment, cool, I can do what I need to do. Right.
You know what's interesting with that though? Me and Cuz was just watching NBA TV, and they had LeBron with the Heat when they were down 3-2. Manu Ginobili missed the free throws. They bought the Larry O'Briens out on the field, on the court, and Kawhi went 1 or 2, and then LeBron hit a 3, and then they had the infamous tip out to Ray Allen in the corner and hit that shot. And one of the things that I encourage people to go back, hit the panic on LeBron when he misses the shot. Like, he took it frantically, but
Right. That was a frantic shot.
It was a frantic shot, and it was a panic shot. And when he missed it, it was like damn, I missed it. Like they're gonna talk about me forever. And it's like, what winds up happening? No Tim Duncan in the game. The ball gets tipped out. Jesus Shuttleworth catches it in the corner, and you thought the game. Everyone in the arena thought the game was over with Manu Ginobili coming to the line. And it's staying focused, staying locked in and seeing it through, right? And you talk about tendencies. Again, we were watching that game, and then they winded up following it up with the Warriors game. And one of the tendencies of Steph Curry is he's a terrible lateral mover. Like, he's a great position defender, but on the ball, he has terrible lateral movement. That could be due to the injury of his ankles and things like that. But at the end of the game, they're throwing the ball to Kyrie. And if you look at what Kyrie did to him, he rocked him side to side and then sidestepped. Why? Because he can't move side to side. He didn't try to blow past him and go to the basket. He rocked him side to side and then sidestepped it and took a three. Now, was it a sidestep that was uncontested? No, it wasn't. But he had a clear view of the basket, and this is late in the game when you got to make a play. Everyone is tired. This is game 7. Everyone is tired, bro. I'm a point guard chasing around Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And in this moment, I can't worry about being tired. Bron, I got this, bro. Let me work out here on this wing real quick. I know what he can't do. He can't stay in front of me because no one in the world can stay in front of me. But we need a 3. And I'm going to knock this 3 down, but how am I going to get into that 3? I'm going to utilize the fact that he's not a good lateral mover, and I'm going to rock him from side to side, and then I'm going to sidestep and step away from him, and we're going to win the chip, dog. You know what I'm saying? And we'll worry about everything else later because being tired can't be a factor at that moment. I just wanted to add on real quick when you said stay calm in those situations. I think when it comes to staying calm at the free throw line, it's all about your habits. You can't replicate a free throw. So there's no environment that I can create that would replicate you shooting a free throw under those situations. But if you have recorded habit of your routine, what you do when you get to the line, if you're committed to that process, that's what you need to focus on. You take your breaths, you do your normal routine, and you shoot the basketball. And it should give you the same result. You know what I'm saying? But what you can't do is you can't break out of that. You can't allow the moment to overcome you and step to the line and think you're going to knock it down with a different routine and looking at everybody and all of that stuff. It's not going to happen. You know? So
all about them habits that you build, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man.
Well, this is good. This is really good, man. This is hour and 40, but it's good. It's good content, I think, man. We had a good pod today. This is a good one.
It was a really good pod, man. I'm enjoying it, man. Our topics, man. I hope that we are giving everybody information that, listen, when you listen to us, you could take something away from it. And something that you didn't know.
DM us, man. DM us with different things that you want to hear us talk about. You know, you could DM me at Mars Basketball, hit me and say, yo, listen, man, I checked out the Hoop Chat. I like this, man. But, tell me what your thoughts is on this. Or you want to hear us talk about these different things, throw that out there, man, because we here for y'all at the end of the day to have these different kinds of conversations to educate, empower, and inspire you to be the best that you could be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Same thing. Hit him or hit me. You can hit me at Coach W. Nelly. Topics, even feedback, man. What you would like different or whatever. Like we're here for y'all. We're here to give y'all the knowledge of the basketball world that we've been in and experienced, and like anything, man. Like we appreciate everybody that keeps tuning in with us. We do this for y'all, man.
Word. That's a fact.
And again, like I say, the most important thing is to inspire the next person to be great at whatever they do.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
We want to welcome everybody to the Hoop Chat. The Hoop Chat. Excited about this topic right here, dog. Let's go. I learned how to win in college.
Process, right?
Absolutely. Separate the men from the boys. It will separate the real from the fake. It will separate the committed from the uncommitted, who really loves the game and who really don't.
Your network equals your net worth. 25 years of experience.
Like, oh, man, yeah, let's get to work. Let's get to work.